How I became homeless was myself and my boyfriend were living together, and we were both using drugs. And what happened was we couldn't afford the rent. There wasn't any income coming in. I can't live on the streets. So I heard of this one place, One Stop, in here in Ventura. And I went and I spoke to different agencies, and I spoke to Joe Eckes, who works for Turning Point Foundation, and he was very supportive. I moved into Riverhaven and I started using resources. I started going to groups. They have helped me tremendously. The staff is awesome.
I never had a lot of family. I never had a lot of support. So the Marine Corps was my main support, and when I got out of that, I was trying to rely on myself as much as I could, and it was going okay for a while, but there were some setbacks. A very dear friend of mine died in Iraq, very tragically, and that set me on a very, very downward spiral. That was some of the closest family I had. I lost my job, I lost my girlfriend, I ended up just by myself. There was another period where I ended up using some drugs, and that it's always just a struggle in your head, and in my head I get trapped in there and I can't get out. There's no way, it seems. So the last job, I just fell down hard. I was living in my car in the parking lot of the job that I was at, and when they kind of found that out, they weren't very happy. And I called around, and eventually I did get in contact with Eduardo Clark here at Turning Point, and he got me into the program. He was able to get me in.
I went over to Iraq, came back, and got into becoming an iron worker welder. And what happened was, in 2008, I got hurt. I got hit in the face with a pipe that broke free, and it busted my face in 11 places and knocked out 16 teeth. And the other medication just wasn't doing it, so I started self-medicating and got into shady stuff, selling things. And then I got arrested and got thrown in prison, and then got arrested again. And by chance, I was in county jail here, and I ran into a fellow named Jeff. He told me about this place.
With my bipolar disorder disease, that's what happened. I ended up without a home. I didn't have a place to live, and Turning Point was where they opened the doors for me.
Like in some other programs that I've heard about, where if there's even a hint of anything, you're back on the street. They don't support you. They don't give you the help that you need. Whereas here, they ask, what happened? How can we help you? What counseling do you need? What services do you need? And they get you there. They say, well, we're going to take you to this appointment. We're going to get you to these meetings. We're going to make sure that you have all these things done.
But here, everybody supports you. Yeah, you're going to do good. You're going to be all right. So the support is the biggest thing. And then the resources is the other thing.
I like living at Turning Point. The place is very familiar. It's very home place. We get to do chores. We get to go around and talk to the residents there, and the people that work there. They're really nice and loving. Really a nice place.
If there was a vet living in their car, I would tell them to look for the resources, not be afraid to ask for help. That was one of my big problems. Is especially in the service, they kind of teach you not to ask for help. You're supposed to rely on your team, but when you don't have a team, when it's just you have nobody to rely on. You have no one to help pick you up when you fall, no one to tell you that you're not a failure, not a complete lost cause. Whereas when you're just by yourself in your car every night, drinking or doing whatever it is that they're doing, trying to cope, it's not the right way. And I was telling some of the donors earlier today that they saved my life. I consider it. I thank them whenever I can.
Well, without you, there is no Turning Point. Without the donations from you guys, there is no Turning Point. And there would be no help for people like me. There'll be more casualties. I mean, 22 veterans a day commit suicide because they can't get the help that they deserve. With donations like this and this house, look at how many lives you've probably already saved.
Please continue to give, and don't be afraid if a veteran does stumble. We're human, please forgive us, and we're trying to better ourselves.
And Turning Point is absolutely heaven sent.
They help you to do what's going to help you. Everybody's a different person, and everybody's a different case, and they actually look at it that way, and
What I hope to do in the future is get a place of my own.
And when I do get out of here, I plan on coming back and make sure I volunteer my time, because it's been amazing.
I want to go back to school and get some type of alcohol and drug certificate so I can be a counselor to those who are in recovery, and I can tell them my story, how I became sober.
So your donation absolutely helps. Amazing what it does. So if you're thinking about donating, make sure you donate. It doesn't matter what you donate, as long as you donate, because you will save someone's life.
Say no to drugs, because it's terrible. It just it breaks your family apart. You have no support because you start to do things, and it's a drug that's making you do all these horrible things, and therefore your family sees you as a bad person.
If it wasn't for Turning Point Foundation, I'll be right back in jail or prison.